Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Damn, some days when I sing that song, it just makes me want to cry because it hurts so much to just get it out. But it is good morning, even if it causes some strain, even if it doesn't feel always like a good morning. You have to set that foot, the right foot out there. You have to step into your day and be like, I'm going to have a good morning, and I'm going to plan this day in the best way that I can to have the best morning, the best day that I can, based on what is in my control, right? So, hi. My name is Patricia Ribeiro Wolfson, and I am, oh my goodness, guys, my day, it's the day that started the way it did, and I'm sure you can all relate. So let's start again. My name is Patricia Ribeiro Wolfson, and I am here to motivate and inspire you to create a daily routine. Because I have found that creating a daily routine and stepping into really focusing on my energy, on my needs, on putting myself first in the sense of my energy, right? I have to be responsible for my energy and what I'm putting out into the world. There are going to be a million hiccups along the way. You are going to face things in your day that are upsetting, that they are frustrating, they are scary, they are confusing, and they're going to throw you off. They're going to throw you off energetically. They're going to throw you off mentally and emotionally. They may even throw you off physically. You may trip, you may hurt yourself, you may have some sort of accident. And so there's always these external factors that are, coming into our energetic space and distracting us or trying to veer us off course. And the only thing that you can do is to keep yourself with, as they say in sports, eye on the ball, right? What do you want, right? If you're moving through something tough, and I don't normally use sports analogies, but it's just really coming to me right now as a great analogy to use right now, because if you think in sports, there's always you have the crowd that's yelling, that's not on your team, going like, you suck, you're the worst, go home, stop playing, right? I don't know, I didn't play sports in school, but I certainly watch sports being played, and I've enjoyed cheering teams on because I don't boo, I cheer people on. But as a player, as someone who's on the field, as someone who is performing, right? I understand the performing part, but a player, an athlete performs, goes out there and does, has to be mentally, emotionally, and physically sound and fit and able to perform their task at hand. And they have to do it with tremendous focus, whether you're playing basketball, soccer, tennis, if you're a runner, right? You have to be in your own game. You have to, of course, pay attention to what's happening around you, right? If someone's coming to block you, to, defend the ball or whatever it is, as you're playing, you have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to be aware, this guy's going to try to get me, and this person's going to try and block me, and this person is going to try to take the ball from me. But you have to keep your eyes on the prize. You have to keep your eyes on the ball. You have to go this is what my goal is. And what I want to help you do is realize that you can do that with your day-to-day life. And look, it's not easy. Just like it's not easy for these athletes to stay on the ball, right? You have incredible athletes, and they're being paid a bajillion dollars, right? And they still get on that field, and sometimes they suck. Sometimes they're off their game. Sometimes they don't score. Some of the best teams on the planet in whatever sport they're playing, they still lose games, right? And it's here. It's a mental game. And sometimes it's a physical game. And sometimes it's an emotional game. The fact is that every single part, your mind, your body, your spirit, your emotional state, all of that affects you as you move through your day, whether you are playing a game, playing an instrument, doing a presentation, showing up to work, or just having a conversation with somebody you care about. even then, you are going to be affected by outside forces, the person's mood, the person's emotional state, right? Maybe what the topic is, it may be something that's triggering. And so, how do you keep yourself grounded? How do you keep yourself centered? How do you keep yourself in your own energy, right? How do you keep your eyes on the prize, right? And the eyes on the prize for me, and we're going to talk about this on Me First Mornings a lot, the eyes on the prize is your GPS word, okay? Now, we're not going deep into the GPS word today, but let me tell you, we're going to talk a lot about the GPS word, and if you want to start kind of working on it on your own, I highly recommend that you go and get my free gift. It's a download. You don't even need to give your email because I didn't prepare it properly, so I'm just going to tell you the truth. So you can literally just go and download this and just use it for your services, for your own purposes. And what it is this free gift is a quick reference guide, which actually these are excerpts that come from the book that I'm working on right now, which is a companion guide to Me First Mornings. So if you watch the show and you hear me talk about the GPS system, or you hear me talk about the Me First method, or you hear me talk about the acronym, because Me First is an acronym, this companion guide will give you sort of all of the ins and outs, the glossary, the philosophy, and everything. So I'm working on that. It's coming. But in the meantime, if you want to start understanding the things that I'm talking about, if you want a reference guide, you can get these 5 pages for free. Just go ahead to bit.ly/calibrate me first. And I have the description the link is in the description, so go ahead and you can just click on it. And it tells you how to calibrate your energy, how to do your Me First Mornings ritual, how to do a quick GPS activity so you can figure out what your GPS word is. It helps you through the daily ABCs, and it gives you a simple guide to manage stress, which just breaks things down of how you can do it. And one of the things that I like to talk about too are the spiritual tools. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about spiritual tools. Now, what are spiritual tools? Spiritual tools are like essential oils, crystals, right? You know, my bracelets, these are, crystals you wear. A candle. It is all sorts of tools that you can use. Incense, right? I always have my incense with me. I thought I had it. Oh, no. It's because I took it out of the drawer, okay? Incense, candles. Oh, I already said candles. Anyway, all of these things you can use, and they're tools, and they're there for you to use like anything else, right? Like that's what tools are. Tools are optional, equipment or things that you can add to your day, add to your routine. Number 1, to make it more fun. Number 2, they do have purposes, and we're going to talk about those purposes, and we're going to talk about the things that I specifically like to use for my ritual to get me sort of centered. The tools that I use help me to focus, right? Help me to keep my eye on the ball, help me to stay aware and connected to what my purpose is, connected to what my GPS word is. Now, in my life, my GPS word, it changes, and yours can change too. Sometimes it changes daily. Sometimes I have a theme that goes for many, many months or years, like there's underlying themes. But each day I kind of check in with myself and say, what do I really want to feel today? What do I need to feel today? And most of the time, the answer is peace. Most of the time, what I want the most in my life is peace. I want ease. I want flow. And so the way I do that, so the eye on the prize is the eye on the flow, eye on peace, right? So how can I move through the world in a peaceful way? How can I make decisions that feel peaceful, or that the result of those decisions will bring me more peace? This is why the GPS work is so important, why I talk about it so much. And sometimes we need a little help. And that's why I use these tools to help me, right? I turn on the candle when we do our little ritual together, which we'll be doing in a couple minutes. I turn on the candle because it helps focus my energy on the light. I use essential oils because the scent, I use it when I feel good. I use it when I'm doing spiritual work. And so I will immediately connect that scent to my peace. So if I'm having a freak out and I can't get my mind around, calming down, sometimes the essential oils of course, which work with the olfactory senses, which, connects with your memory and it connects with your physical system, I'm able to just smell that smell, and that scent will trigger peace within me. So even if I'm in the midst of a really chaotic situation, it's one thing that I can do that makes me feel a little more peaceful. And that's why these tools are important. It's not because you need them. I could just breathe and eventually get to that peaceful state without using essential oils or candles or crystals or any of that, crap or whatever, if that's what you look at it as. And even when I use my cards, right? My cards, my tarot cards, my oracle cards that I use all the time, that facilitates communication for me. It makes me feel connected. But do I need it? No, I don't need it. I just need to sit down, shut up, focus, and go within, because the answers are there. They're not here. The answer's not really in the card. This is just for the ego. These cards are just so that my brain can connect with something and go, oh, that's the sign. But you feel it inside. You have everything you need within you. You don't have to use anything. And so it's important for me to tell you that, because I don't want you to think you have to have certain tools. You have to go out and buy candles or incense or sage or everything sustainably purchased, of course. But you don't have to buy anything. You don't have to use anything if it doesn't work for you, or if you don't want to, or if it's not something that resonates with you. I use the tools because they're fun. I use the tools because they do help me focus. And sometimes when I'm in a moment of panic or overwhelm or real stress, those tools will help guide me. They're like a little beacon of light to get me to that place that I need, which is that eye on the prize, which is, I want to be peaceful. That's right. I need more peace. So I'm not going to argue with this person right now, because that argument is not bringing me peace. Now, I also want to say that sometimes arguing with somebody will result in ultimate peace for you. So there is no never argue if you want peace, right? There's none of that. You have to decide for yourself, how do I need to show up for myself to get the thing that I want the most, right? So using my example of peace, how do I need to show up in this situation to get the peace that I desperately want? How can I bring that peace? How can I embody that peace? How can I do things in a peaceful way? That's my focus. Okay, so giving you all the information and all that focus, what are the tools good for, right? So I have this, I have a bajillion crystal bracelets, okay? These are all whoa, these, they're falling. I didn't mean for them to fall. I just wanted to show you, okay? And each one of them, they have crystals that mean different things. And I love to look at them because they're pretty. And I love to use them to remind me to ground myself, or to remind me, hey, like this, for example, it's pretty, right? Because it's got sparklies, but also it has amethyst. And so amethyst connects me to my spiritual self. And so when I have this and I look at this, I'm like, it reminds me to breathe. And you can sort of, direct your focus and use these tools in whatever way you want by setting an intention, right? So we're going to do the ritual right now, and I'm going to use the tools that I use and tell you why I use these tools and why these particular tools work for me. And like I said, your tools can be anything. Right? Your tools, you can use tapping. You can use, there's healing modalities that you can use. There's things like havening. There's tapping. There's all sorts of healing modalities that may work for you, that you feel connected to, that are also tools, right? The energy work that I do, the strategies that I share, that's part of the tools that I use to get me through those really tough days. Hi, Holly. Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you. Hi. Okay, so let's start our ritual. And so why do I do this ritual? Because it's important. Because it's important to ground yourself. It's important to get your energy right before you leave the house, if possible. Sometimes that's not possible, so you do it whenever you can. Sometimes you can't get to it until night, and that's okay too. It would be much more beneficial in the morning, I'm not going to lie, but I'm also not going to judge you if you only do this at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, I call it me first mornings because that's when we're meeting, but maybe for you, you don't have time or you can't get up earlier than your kids. And when they wake up, you're like rushing to take care of them and you can't get to it until maybe lunchtime. It doesn't matter. There are no rules, especially here. Listen, you make your own rules. So I'm always going to tell you to do what feels right. I'm always going to tell you to do what works for you. And so that goes for everything. You don't want to light a candle? Don't light a candle. You don't want to use essential oils? Don't use essential oils. Anything that I share with you, any tools that I use, I want you to keep that in mind, that if it doesn't resonate with you or if it doesn't work for you, don't use it. Replace it with something else or don't replace it. Just leave it out. It doesn't matter. The routine and this ritual is for you to connect to your higher self in whatever way you want. If your morning routine can be like running in your, on the spot and just being like, I got this. And, if that works for you and you're able to get out of the door and be like, man, I feel good. I did my I got this run. Then fantastic. That's your routine and it works for you. That's all that matters. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to start by lighting my candle. I have this like blowtorch thing to light my candles. I have to get a smaller lighter. So we're going to light the candle. And I use a candle because I feel like it opens up the sacred space. It makes this time more special. So it's part of the ritual. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to light this candle because that's how I'm opening to receive the peace that comes with this ritual, right? So it's like, I'm ready. And then the next thing I do usually is the essential oils, right? And I'll just like drop them in my hand and rub them. And I smell it. And sometimes I'll rub it through my hair and I put it in the back of my neck. I'll put it over here. And what that is I just want to take in the scent. Now, with essential oils, anybody who's like, used essential oils, or if you ever heard anyone talk about them, there's obviously really beneficial properties to essential oils. And each one of the oils have their own vibration, they have their own scent, and they connect to you in their own way for various reasons. So find something that, I'm holding up this one like I'm advertising it, but I'm not. I happen to use sacred frankincense as that's sort of like what I call my sacred oil. It's a sacred frankincense, but I really love the smell when I'm doing sort of spiritual stuff, when I do my Reiki healing. I like to use this one. I use all sorts of essential oils from like everyone. So I'm not, you don't have to like pick one company or another, whoever you feel connected to. So sacred frankincense is, it is connecting me to that spiritual side of me. And so when I'm doing the ritual and I light the candles and I put the essential oils, I am setting it up. And I said this yesterday, sort of like Pavlov's theory of, when you set yourself up with the same thing all the time, then your body will get triggered by that thing. Well, Pavlov's theory, not experiment, was of course a dog who they fed and they rang the bell, for those of you who don't know. And so then when he'd hear the bell ring, he would start salivating even if food wasn't around, because his body had that automatic response to the bell because it had been followed by food for this time during the experiment. So this is the same thing, right? We're like creating a response. We're creating an automatic response in our body. And we're doing that in order to be able to go back to these tools when we're having a moment where we can't control our response, or when we feel completely overwhelmed and paralyzed by fear, paralyzed by, trying to make a decision. These tools, that's when they're important. You refer to the tools, you go back to the tools, and you're like, oh my God, let me just smell that essential oil and see if I can bring myself a little bit more calm. Let me just light a candle and stare at that flame and see if I can get myself back to that peaceful place. So that's why it's important, because we want to establish a practice that you can go back to when you can't think, when we hear some shitty news, or when we're going through a really rough time and we feel our heart palpitating and we feel like the tears are welling up in our eyes, and maybe you're in your office and you can't, you don't feel comfortable just crying, although I would recommend just go ahead and cry, just let it out. But maybe you can't. And so you want to kind of shift how you're feeling. You want to shift that weight of emotions, or you just want to allow things to pass through you in a way that feels more connected. That's what this is for. It's to start laying the groundwork to be able to refer to something when you don't have the capacity to think. Okay? So we light the candle. We use the essential oils. And now we're going to take 3 deep breaths. And I like to use my crystals. So I don't always use them, but I do have crystal spheres. I use clear quartz because clear quartz is an amplifier. And clear quartz is like the cheapest crystal you could buy. It is literally everywhere, including in our electronics, by the way, because it's an amplifier. And so I like to amplify my spiritual experience. I like to amplify my ritual. So I will grab my clear quartz crystals when I take my deep breaths. Okay, so we're going to do that together. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. And I want you to just allow yourself to relax or to feel the breath. Focus on the deep, deep breaths. Okay, so take a deep breath in. Now hold. And as you're holding your breath, I want you to just imagine all of that stuck, stagnant energy just kind of coming loose. Imagine that your body is filling with light. You can breathe out. Okay? During the process of breathing, I'm explaining to you what I see. And of course, I'm speaking it's more slowly than the way you might want to do it, or you do it very, very slowly. You do this practice however you want. But I like to take a deep breath in, hold my breath, and then just imagine light filling my body. Sometimes I'll even imagine that the top of my head opens up and the sunlight just comes pouring in. And now we're in the midst of this full, powerful full moon energy. The lunar eclipse was this morning. So like the energies are off the chain. Allow that powerful energy to enter into your body and allow it to do whatever it needs to do to help you release the things that don't serve you. And I want you to imagine that beautiful, powerful light within you just dissolving any stuck, stagnant, or dense energy that doesn't serve you. And allow it to just come off of your body. Just release it in whatever way feels good to you. Okay, so let's take a 3rd deep breath. We usually do 3 deep breaths. So let's do 1 more. And I'm not going to talk. We're going to make this one count. And you're going to hold your breath for at least 5 seconds and then release the breath slowly. Okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. And hold. And release. Okay, now that we've done our breaths, let's shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Okay. And this really is, and you stretch a little bit. Now, what we want to do with our stretching and shaking is we just want to release that stuck energy, that physical energy. We mentally kind of did that, but also physically our body needs to release it too. If you have a yoga practice, you could incorporate that yoga practice into your morning ritual. I think it's a great thing. If you're not a yoga person, but you like to dance, turn up the music and dance your heart out and just release anything that doesn't serve you through your movement. Allow your body to release that energy. If you're not moving, it can't go anywhere, right? That's part of shaking it out. Look at any animal in nature, right? If they go from one spot to another when they're changing places, or if something happens they're not, right about, they'll shake it off and move on. That's what we need to do. It's physiologically our solution to feeling stuck is movement. Our solution, our body's solution to like getting things off of us is to move, is to shake it off, literally. But, we don't think about that because we're not thinking, oh, I have energy on me, but you do. You have dense layers of energy that you need to get rid of. And so that's why I use, sort of these methods. All right. So what do we have next? Okay. So now the next thing that we do is I like to set intentions with a prayer. And so I have my own prayer that I made up, and I would love to share it with you. I do it every day. And so we're just going to say it really quickly, and I'm going to pull a card because we're actually coming to the end of the show. Today was a little bit longer than I anticipated. But I really want to share this with you, and I really wanted to explain to you why tools are so important. So let's just say a prayer to set our day out right. You can say your own prayer, speak to whoever you feel connected to spiritually. If you have your own religious practice, now's the time. So you can insert here, sort of the things that work for you. I'm sharing my ritual. You can sort of cut and paste or do like an a la carte where it's like, oh, I like the candle. I like the essential oil. I don't, I like to dance more than stretch. And, I'm also going to play some music because that makes me feel good and gets me in the mood, right? And I'm going to say my own prayer, or you're going to skip the prayer because maybe you don't want it. Although I do recommend, just being like, hey, anybody out there who wants to support and help me, I'm open to receiving the help and support from whatever spiritual representative that you feel connected to. Okay. All right. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit guides, ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us to raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Okay, and now we are ready, and I am ready to pull our card, and this is going to be the fastest card pull on the planet, because I do want to be mindful of your time. I do want to stick to our scheduled, sort of half hour. The show, I'm trying to keep it to a half hour. I get, all excited and start talking and channeling, and so sometimes it goes a little longer. But I want you to know that how you build your ritual is completely up to you. Which tools you decide to use are completely up to you. However many or however few or any, if none at all, it needs to be a personal choice that you need to feel connected to. And also try things out. Like you're like, oh, I never thought of using essential oils. Try it out. See if you like it. Oh, I never thought of using oracle cards. Try it out. See if it works for you. See if it's fun, and have fun. I know I've said fun several times today, but let me tell you something. The whole purpose of us being here on this planet, on these little skin suits, is for us to have fun, okay? It's not for us to become angelic beings, because angelic beings are already angelic beings. They want to be human. They want to feel things, the good, the bad, all the intensity and all of the bliss, right? That's what we're here for. That's what these bodies are for. There are sensory organs, right? So that we can be on this planet feeling things. So don't stop yourself from feeling things, but use the tools that you need so that sometimes you can alleviate the challenges that you face because you feel things. All right, here's the card. I'm just going to pull it. I'm just going to do it because we're here. All right, so the card I pulled it's the number 4, okay, which is amazing, and it's Spirit of Place. Spirit of Place is literally creating your home. It is exactly connected to this energy of creating your ritual. It's creating your environment. Spirit of Places, it's not the location, but it is what you create in that location, right? People talk about feeling like home, like things that feel like home. Sometimes it's like a delicious meal feels like home. Sometimes you meet somebody and you connect with them so beautifully and you're like, oh my God, you just feel like home. And Spirit of Place is about creating that feeling of home, of belonging wherever you are. You can curate that atmosphere, and it is up to you to set up the boundaries around your life in order to feel at home wherever you are, in whatever way you can. So I encourage you to take some time today and to create your own ritual. Figure out what it is that you would like to use or add to your ritual, what might be helpful. Like I said, there are so many healing modalities, and I do talk about tapping sometimes, and we'll talk about that more on another show, where if you're really like stressing out, there may be certain physical things, certain healing modalities that you can go to, that you feel connected to, that can kind of bring you back to your foundation, that can help you feel grounded when you're off. I encourage you to just create a routine that works for you, even if it's 2 minutes, because 2 minutes that you focus on you sometimes is enough to calibrate your energy to carry you through. And if that 2 minutes isn't working for you, is not calibrating for you, then add some more time as you see fit. Practice, try things out, figure it out your way. Oh my goodness, Annie, hi. Thanks, Trish. Beautiful. See you tomorrow night. I'm so excited. Oh yes, tomorrow night I'm doing a full moon yoga in-person session. So if you want information, that I'm going to post it in my description. I am doing that tomorrow night with Marissa and Donna Coogan. If you don't know her, she's an incredible yoga teacher. And of course, you guys know Marissa. Me and Marissa have done lots of not moon yoga. We haven't done moon yoga, but we've done a lot of moon healing circles. So we're going to do that again tomorrow night. It's also my birthday tomorrow. So, if you want to come, send me a message. I will send you the information, or just go on my page. I'm pretty sure I have it on Facebook. And if I don't have it on YouTube, I'll put it there too. I really wish you a wonderful, wonderful day. I truly, truly love you all, and wish you the best. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm here every Monday through Friday. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Me First Mornings, and I'll see you at 9:30 tomorrow morning.